You need to hear this if you're in a relationship. Relationships are tough. You gotta nurture them, work at them. Sometimes, things change. You might feel a shift, a distance you can't quite put your finger on. If your partner is doing these 5 things, it might be a sign they're losing interest. But don't panic, because today, I'll also show you exactly how to turn things around before it's too late. Stay with me until the end, because number 3 is the biggest red flag that almost everyone ignores. Remember when you first started dating, how you couldn't stop talking about the future, vacations you'd take, concerts you'd see, even just planning to try that new restaurant next week? Those moments were filled with excitement and anticipation. But lately, have those conversations dried up? Do you find yourself sitting in silence more often than not? When you try to bring up that trip you talked about, do they shrug it off? Or maybe they seem disinterested, like it's a chore to even discuss it. Or worse, do they get annoyed, like you're trapping them? It's as if the idea of planning together feels suffocating to them. It's like they've mentally checked out of the relationship. Their mind seems to be somewhere else, far from the shared dreams you once had. Now, I'm not saying a single missed date night means it's over. Everyone has off days. But if making even simple plans feels like pulling teeth, you need to pay attention. It shouldn't be this hard to coordinate and look forward to things together. This isn't about the plans themselves. It's about what those plans represent, a shared future, a commitment. It's about being on the same page. When someone's losing interest, that shared future starts looking awfully blurry to them. The once clear path you both envisioned becomes uncertain and foggy. Look, we all have our little quirks, right? Maybe you leave your socks on the floor, or you always squeeze the toothpaste from the middle. In the honeymoon phase, those things are cute, endearing even. But when that initial spark starts to fade, those little things, they become magnified. Every little thing you do starts to grate on their nerves. They're snappy, they're irritable, and you're walking on eggshells because you never know what's going to set them off. This irritability is often a symptom of a deeper problem. They're focusing on the negatives because they've lost sight of the positives. Chapter 3, they're less affectionate, biggest red flag. Physical touch, intimacy, affection. These are fundamental needs in a romantic relationship. So when the hugs become less frequent, the kisses become pecks on the cheek, and the hand-holding disappears entirely, you better believe it's a sign something's off. Now, I understand that everyone expresses affection differently, and some folks are naturally more touchy-feely than others. But I'm talking about a drastic change in behavior here. It's like they're pulling away, creating physical distance to match the emotional distance they're feeling. This lack of affection, it's not just about the physical act itself. It's about what that act represents: intimacy, connection, desire. Chapter 4. Their texting and communication becomes one-sided. Remember when you first started dating, how you couldn't wait to hear from them? Every message was a thrill, and you felt a rush of excitement each time your phone buzzed. Every text was a little burst of sunshine. Every phone call a reason to smile. It felt like you were on top of the world, connected in a special way. But lately, have you noticed a shift? The once frequent messages have dwindled, and the enthusiasm seems to have faded. Are you always the one initiating conversations? Do you find yourself waiting for a response that never comes? Do your texts go unanswered for hours, even days? The silence can be deafening and incredibly frustrating. This, my friends, is a classic sign of fading interest. It's a painful realization, but an important one. When someone's invested in you, they make an effort. They want to be a part of your life and stay connected. But when someone's checked out, communication becomes a chore, something they do out of obligation, rather than genuine desire. The messages become shorter, the replies more curt, and the enthusiasm fades away. There's nothing more disheartening than pouring your heart out to someone who's only half listening. It's a tough pill to swallow, but recognizing it is the first step to addressing it. Chapter 5. You feel like you're walking on eggshells. Remember when you first started dating, how you could talk about anything? Every conversation felt effortless, and you were genuinely interested in each other's lives. Your hopes, your dreams, your fears, you felt safe, seen, heard. There was a sense of mutual respect and understanding that made you feel invincible. But somewhere along the line, that changed. The open communication you once cherished started to dwindle. Now, You find yourself censoring your words, biting your tongue, afraid to rock the boat. The fear of conflict overshadows the joy of connection. You're walking on eggshells, tiptoeing around your partner's moods, terrified of saying or doing the wrong thing. Every step feels precarious. When you're in a healthy relationship, you should feel safe to be your authentic self. Open dialogue should be the norm, not the exception. But when someone's losing interest, they often create an environment where vulnerability feels dangerous. The emotional distance grows. This creates a climate of fear and resentment where real communication becomes impossible. The relationship becomes a minefield of unspoken words and hidden feelings. Look, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Noticing these signs in your relationship can be tough. It's painful, it's scary, and it's easy to feel lost and alone. But here's the good news. You're not alone. If you know someone who needs to hear this, send them this video. It might just save their relationship.